Diversity within classical European music is a challenge. At the Aaron Copland School of Music, our identity as a classical jazz music education unit within an urban institution brings with it some tensions and opportunities. This project engages diversity through the identities of the composers Scott Joplin and Maria Szymanowska. At the same time, it also engages the porous boundaries of classical music as it intersects with lighter genres, be they ragtime or a dance from the peripheries of European art music. Music theory is a challenging topic to teach from a motivational standpoint. It's a kind of an eat your broccoli topic. There are also some other inherent difficulties in it. As Patel 2008 observes, children become active speakers within a speech community. They also become enculturated listeners within a musical system. They don't spontaneously acquire a productive capacity in improvisation or composition as they do for language. So there's a kind of an asymmetry in music and language acquisition. As Richard Ashley comments, a basic design flaw in many cognition experience in music is using classical music stimuli on research participants. If we want to understand the competencies of listeners in a certain context, we might be better off doing so with today's musical lingua franca of rock pop. And moreover, as we learn more about how European musicians were trained in the past, it is clear that exemplar learning and immersion in a style were central. And this explains their fluency in composition and improvisation. You have some studies cited on the slide, all with lengthy names. Today's classical music training focuses on the exact repetition of musical scores, and on the theory side, we tend to focus on harmonic grammar rather than on idiomatic fluency or musical usage. So it raises many questions, and it made me search for some pragmatic compromises that might bridge these gaps between grammar and usage and so on. To my knowledge, the most similar precedent is Nancy Rogers' intervention in which she uses college fight songs as a way for composing in the theory classroom. Like her intervention, there's a small bodies of work that I've used that is based in 19th century European harmonic practice. My students explore 4 polonaises dances by Maria Szymanowska and a small group of Scott Joplin rags. So we have 2 mini corpus studies, and they study melody, harmony, texture, and form. I also give them some prompts and scaffoldings that facilitate creativity, and we'll take a look at it right now. What we have in front of us is just a snippet from a Szymanowska Polonaise dance. Let's take a listen. And now we'll take a look at a pedagogical scaffolding, which is basically a skeleton of what we've just heard. And what we have on the next slide is, what we have on the next slide is Martin Lindblad allowed me to use his name in his composition, and we'll listen to it, tiny snippet from his project. If I had to tell you which one is more idiomatic rhythm, I would say the student project in this case is even more characteristic of this particular dance. As you can see, the student represents a good level of idiomatic fluency based on close attention to the small group of works studies. This gives you a vivid sense of our pedagogical work together as we explore a mini corpus. It's clear that we are operating within constraints, and we have a variety of listening and music-making experiences within the student body. At the same time, this hands-on activity models some skills that potentially students can apply in future practice and future teaching contexts. It also connects our study of 19th century harmony to a more exploratory analytical activity, as well as a creative, or if you want to call it generative or productive capacity, if you don't want to call this creativity per se. And finally, I don't feel qualified to speak about it, but I'm sure there are some parallels to challenges in other domains. I think that second language acquisition might be a relatively obvious one, and I really look forward to hear from colleagues across campus about how this potentially resonates with them, or some tips that they might have for me. So I don't have so much to share with you, but I'm really looking forward to get some tips and tricks from those of you who are dealing with similar challenges. Thank you very much.